Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I will be reacting or recapping episode 2 of Inmate to Roommate, Analisa, Vada, and Mark. So in the previous episode, it ended with everyone standing around outside the prison looking awkward because of Mark. Mark arranged to have Analisa and Vada come and pick him up, and he also arranged to have these 3 random girls come get him. Well, he actually said they were his homegirls, but he arranged for them to come and meet up with them for a menage a trois, some group sex, whatever. He said menage a trois to the producers in the last episode. In the one-on-one interview, Vada said those girls drove up there and surprised the hell out of them. He said Mark should not have sprung that on them like that, and I agree. Analisa said that she is concerned that Mark is wasting their time. Vada is trying to be calm about everything and peaceful. He's kind of a quiet person. He doesn't say too much, but he did say that, he just kind of wants to move forward from there. So then Mark, he says that he is ready to go and get some food, and everyone agrees, and they said that they are hungry as well. And then Mark turns to the girls and he asks them if they are hungry and if they want to join them. And they was like, yeah, we'll come too. And I'm like, how the hell are you just going to invite them like that? Like, none of these people know each other. Like, first of all, Vada and his wife, Analisa, they didn't know that the girls were going to be up there and meet them. And then, like, everyone's just kind of caught off guard. It's so rude of him to invite them to come along like that. And he didn't even introduce anybody. I didn't see him introduce them formally. I don't even know what the girls' names are. But anyway, but they're not important anyway. They're just, anyway. Mark, in his one-on-one, he tells the producers that he feels that there's tension in the air. And he knows that Vada and Analisa were kind of upset that the girls came out there like that. But he said today is all about him. He just got out. This is his day.
Today's about me right now.
He's so fucking rude. Oops, I don't mean to cuss. Let me tell you, this guy triggered me throughout this entire episode. I do not like Mark. I'm sorry. So they get in the car. Mark gets in the car with his new family. He gets in the car with Analisa and Vada and Deasia, and the girls, get in their car and they follow them to the restaurant. And they all pull up and everyone gets out the car. Mark is walking into the restaurant with his arm around one of the girls, and they all take their seats at this long table. And Mark sits on one side with the girls, and then, you see Deasia, Analisa, and Vada on the other side. So they're sitting across from each other, and it looks kind of awkward to me. The whole scene just looks awkward. My goodness. Anyway, so one of the girls formally greets Analisa and Vada and Deasia. I don't think they said anything to them or acknowledged them back at the prison when Mark first got out there, and they were just kind of all standing around. I didn't see them say anything to each other, but they finally spoke when they sat at the table. One of the girls asked Deasia, she was like, why are you here? Are you just here for the ride? With a stupid looking smirk on her face. The audacity of her to ask, why are you there? But anyway, Deasia, I think I've been saying her name wrong. I'm saying Deasia, but I think it's Deasia. So Deasia lets them know that she is Analisa and Vada's daughter. And then Mark says, oh, that's Miss Suspicious, the one I was telling you about.
Right? I'm their daughter.
Miss Suspicious, what I was telling you about.
Right.
Miss Suspicious.
Miss Suspicious.
Man, that part pissed me off because, first of all, why are you talking about her to anybody? Who are these chicks? And, come on. But anyway, you don't even know her. You don't even know Deasia to be speaking on her, calling her Miss Suspicious. She has every right to be suspicious of your dusty ass. Anyway, Analisa says to Mark that he should have told them that he had other women picking him up. They drove 4 hours. He could have just told them that he had made other arrangements. And he could have just did that. He could have said, you know, look, I'm going to have my friends come pick me up and they're going to drop me off at your house. And that would have been the smart, mature thing to do. But clearly, we're not dealing with the mature, smart, reasonable young man. So Analisa tells him that, you know, they need to be on the same page if he's going to be at her house. And the whole time he has this like stupid look on his face, this dumb grin. And I just want to slap him. I don't like this guy at all. I get really bad. He has really bad energy, like really, really bad energy. But, and then Vada steps in and he says, he says that they are excited to be able to help him out, and they are excited to have them and in their home. And Analisa adds, as long as he is respectful. And you can tell Vada doesn't like any of that stuff that she's talking. He doesn't want to hear it. And not only does he not want to hear it, he's like making it known. He has that look on his face and he's just kind of like talking back to her. He's just being very, very disrespectful. And I'm wondering, like, why is Vada allowing him to talk to her like this? I felt like he should have shut Mark down in his tracks. He shouldn't have allowed Mark to be going back and forth with his wife like that. Analisa said to the producers, she's like, Mark is talking to her like she's one of his peers when she is his elder. At one point in the conversation, he even tells her to stop talking because she is ruining his day.
Oh, please stop. Please. Ruining the day.
Please don't tell me to stop.
And I'm like, why is Vada allowing this? So Diaja asked Mark if he was planning on riding back home with them or the girls. Mark has the most dumbest look on his face. Like he just has a stupid smirk on his face. And he says, like the thing with him, he thinks he's so fine. He thinks he's like all that. And he's just not. He's corny as fuck. But anyway, he asked in a sarcastic way, what do you want me to do? And Diaja said, I don't want you to do anything. I want you to tell me what you're going to do.
What do you want me to do?
I don't want you to do. I want you to tell me what you're gonna do.
And so Mark says he's going to leave with the girls and meet up with them at the house. In Mark's little one-on-one with the producers, he said that he thinks him and Analisa are going to clash, but he's going to win every time. So they leave the restaurant and now they're pulling up to the house. Mark and the girls follow behind Diaja. And so they pull up to the house and you can see everyone's getting out of the car. Mark's getting out of the car and the girls are getting out of the car too. And this triggered me as well because it's like, why are y'all getting out of the car and going into the house? Nobody invited y'all over. Mark didn't ask permission to have these people come over like that, but they get out that car too and they're all walking up to the house. During her interview, Analisa said that she didn't have a problem with the girls coming to her house, but her problem is with Mark. Her issues lie with Mark. And she doesn't like how, her and Vada and Diaja were blindsided with all this. The whole situation is super awkward to me. But anyway, so they get inside the house and I guess the producers asked Mark what he thought of the place. And he had the audacity, he had the nerve to say that his first impressions of the house was that it smelled bad, it was stale, it was old, and it's not where he wants to be. This nigga got a lot of audacity. He don't have a pot to piss in right now. And he's talking shit about their home that they so graciously allowed him to come and live in until he got back on his feet. That man really annoys me. He really does. So Diaja announces that she is going to leave and she shakes Mark's hand and says, nice to meet you. That's the same thing with the girls. And then she kind of jokes and tells them like, y'all are stressing me out. My eyelashes are coming off and They kind of laugh.
Got me stressed out. I laughed.
But I knew, like, Diaja said it like she was joking, but I knew she was serious because the whole situation was stressing me out, and I wasn't even there. It's not even my situation, and I'm stressed out for them. Analisa shows Mark to his room, and she's like, so what do you think? You know, she looks like she's proud to show him where he's going to be sleeping, and, you know, his room. She has it all fixed up for him and everything. And so, you know, she doesn't know that Mark thinks their house is a dump, but Mark plays it off and he acts like he's impressed with the room.
What do you think? Oh yeah, this cool. Oh, I like this.
And in the interview, he tells the producers that he's used to having, I think he said, a player pad. But the house that, you know, he's in now looks like it's abandoned.
The first time I'm trying to have a player pad, it's just like abandoned house type.
Like, oh, he got some nerve. Like, your ass was just in a prison cell for 7.5 years. A dingy, dirty, old, funky cell was your home, and you have a nerve to talk about these people's house like that. Anyway, he ended up saying that his room might just be storage for him. So anyway, after the little room tour, Mark looks at Analisa and he asks her, he's like, so what are you about to do? You about to go to sleep? And she was like, well, actually, no, I was waiting to talk to you. Now, I will say this much. Like, I hate to sound like I'm taking up for him, but I'm not. But, you know, it is late. It looks like it's late. And this is Mark's first day out of prison. So I think that maybe Analisa should have just let him go out and have his fun and do his thing. And, you know, when he comes back the next day, they sit down and establish some ground rules and have a conversation. But I think it was a bit much, and I think she should have just kind of like dialed it back a little bit. However, he's such an asshole, you know, he doesn't deserve any nice treatment. So, you know what, never mind, I take back what I said, whatever. Because she probably would have been nice and would have been understanding about him leaving and doing his thing had he been more respectful, you know, previously. Analisa says to Mark that she thought they were going to have a talk and have a conversation on his first night out to establish some things. And Mark actually says to her, he actually says, see, that's your problem, or that's the problem with thinking. And then he says, sometimes you think wrong. And she was like, I think wrong. Like, what?
That's the problem with thinking sometimes. Sometimes you think wrong.
Sometimes I think wrong.
I mean,
and he says, you know, he's not trying to sit around and talk tonight. He just wants to leave. In her little one-on-one with the producers, Analisa says she's going to give him 24 hours to have a conversation with them. So I wonder what the plan is if he doesn't sit down and talk to them within 24 hours. I think she needs to put him out, honestly. I would have been put him and his things out a long time ago. Well, I'm saying a long time ago. It's only been a couple of hours, right? This is how much of a bad start it's off to. Like, it hadn't even been a full day yet, and we're going through all this. So it is the next day, and Mark did not come home last night. He did stay out all night with the girls, and then, you know, the producers asked him if he had sex. Duh. What do you think, producers? That was a stupid question, but hey, I guess that was for the TV show. And he ended up saying, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. The producer's like, but you're not in Vegas. And he said, well, what happens in Seattle stays in Seattle, with a dumbass grin and laugh. So corny to me. And the next scene, Mark is in a car with the two girls. He's in a car with 2 out of the 3 girls. I don't know what happened to the third one because it was 3 initially. But he's in a car with 2 of the girls, and they're asking him if he's worried about getting kicked out of the house. The girl who was driving the car, she's wondering if Analisa has tried to call him. And I don't think she tried to call him. I think he said no. Mark says that he is not worried about it because he is the life of the party. Then he said that their daughter Diaja is in love with him.
Daughter is in love with me too, but act like daughter's in love with me. Yeah, she want to play like act like she's not.
I'm like, Where did your delusional ass get that from? Like, what, she gave no indication that she even likes him at all. Matter of fact, she was looking at him in disgust. So that's how cocky and arrogant his ass is. But anyway, in the first episode, I thought maybe there could have been a little bit of flirtation over the phone when he asked her how tall she was, but she was just caught off guard with that. But anyway, Mark and those girls pull up to the house. It is the next day. They pull up to the house, and to my surprise, once again, not only does Mark get out the car, I thought they were just going to drop him off and keep it moving, but they get out the car too, and they're about to go in the house as well. So, let me back up just a little bit. So they get out the car and they walk up to the door, and Mark's knocking on the door because he doesn't have a key. And he says, well, he should have a key to a place that he's living in. I would not give him a key. He doesn't deserve a key. They open the door and let him and the girls in. And, they go and sit down in the living room, and Mark tells them that the girls had a problem with their Airbnb, and he actually, with his audacity, he actually asked if it would be okay if the girls stayed with them for the night. I don't know how long he wanted them to stay, but even a few hours would have been too long. And just as I expected, obviously, Analisa was like, no, of course they can't stay. Not in my house. And just the audacity of this Dusty and the audacity of these chicks who are just tagging behind and going along with this mess. They must be dumber than a box of rocks to be following behind this prisoner and disrespecting these people that they don't even know. On account of what? This Dusty, anyway, let me keep going. So, Analisa and Mark, they are kind of going back and forth in the living room. He's asking if these girls can stay in his room with him, in his bed. So disrespectful. They're kind of going back and forth. And ultimately, Analisa lets him know that this is her house. She is the dictator, and what she says goes.
I'm the dictator of this house. You understand me?
And then she stands up, and Analisa's not being rude the whole time, because she has every right to cuss everybody out in that house. I would have done that a long time ago. But anyway, she, then stands up and she's politely asked the girls to leave. She was just, like I said, she was being respectful the whole time while letting Mark know that he wasn't going to be walking all over her like that. So the girls get up, and Analisa extends her hand to one of the girls and said it was nice to meet you, and she shook her hand. The other girl starts walking towards the door, and Analisa says, can I shake your hand? And the girl was like, no, that's all right.
No, ma'am, that's all right.
Okay.
You have a good day. Bye-bye.
This bitch, right? Anyway, and Analisa says, well, that's why you ain't staying at my house. And the girl got mad disrespectful, talking about she didn't want to be there anyway. And Mark chimes in talking about he ain't want to be there either. I would put him and his shit out on that curb so fast. Whatever little stuff he hauling out from prison, whatever little belongings he's got would have been on the curb. Anyway, so the chicks are talking shit as they're walking down the stairs, and so is Mark. Mark is right behind them, and one of them even called Analisa a bitch, and then Analisa slams the door, and then that's the end of their story for episode 2. This entire episode really triggered me because I just didn't like Mark's personality at all. I tried to tell the story and just, be fair, but I just couldn't hold back with this guy. He just, I keep saying, I keep saying the word triggered a lot, right? But he pissed me off this episode because he's very cocky. He has a lot of audacity. He's ungrateful. He should be happy that these nice people open up their home to him and allowing him to stay there for free while he gets his feet on the ground. They were so happy to have him, and that not once did they disrespect him. Not once did they disrespect him. So, man, I guess, we'll see what's going to happen next week with these people, I got a feeling they're going to end up putting him out because he's just too disrespectful, and he won't listen. He's hard-headed, which is probably why he ended up doing 7.5 years in prison. You can tell he's really hard-headed. But anyway, let me get out of here. I thank you guys for watching, and please give me a like and subscribe and comment. What did you think about Mark? If you watched this, what did you think about Mark and his attitude? I couldn't deal. I'm sorry. I just couldn't deal with it. But anyway, I will chat with you all later.